Hello, I'm Tony, and this is the Three Circles. First of all, I want you to know that the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I believe that each and every one of us needs to have a relationship with Jesus. And so if you're watching this, it's one of two reasons. Number one, you either want to have a relationship with Jesus, and this is a good way to understand how that could happen, or you already have a good relationship with Jesus and you want to be able to share that with other people. The first circle is this: God's design. You see, God created us in His design to have a relationship with Him. But there's something that separates us from being able to do that. That's called sin. Sin is any kind of decision that we make within our hearts that pulls us away from God, especially when it comes to selfish decisions. Those are the ones that draw us away from God. That takes me to the second circle, which is brokenness. Wouldn't you agree that we live in a broken world? Because we live in a broken world, we try to restore our brokenness with different things that this world has to offer, like relationships. We know that it doesn't matter who you relate to, there's no perfect person. Sometime, at some moment, a human being is going to let you down. We also try to restore our relationship, or we try to restore our brokenness with success. Yet, success is never going to be enough. You can climb the ladder of success, and there is never an achievement that you will get to that won't lead you to another one and another one and another one. So that will never be enough. Sometimes people try to restore their brokenness with substances. That's another one of the things that we try to use to restore our brokenness, but it doesn't help. Doesn't matter how many substances you consume, it's not going to be enough. Doesn't matter the amount of drug, alcohols, or sex that you consume. None of those things can mend the brokenness that's inside your heart. So we say, okay, well, maybe it's not relationships, maybe it's not success or substances, then surely entertainment will be enough. Well, let me tell you that it isn't. Entertainment is not enough to restore the brokenness that's within your heart, because at the end of every season, there's a new champion. At the end of every TV show, there's either a new TV show or another season. There seems to be something new every single day because entertainment is just not enough. Which takes me to the biggest one of all, religion. You see, we tend to think that religion is going to be what saves us. But you got to understand that religion teaches you something different than what the gospel teaches you. Religion teaches you, if you obey, therefore you are saved. But that's not enough. Because we are not perfect, we will not perfectly obey. So at some point we are going to fail. But the gospel teaches you something completely different. The gospel teaches you, if you are saved, then you will obey. Which means that you don't have to come to God in a perfect way. You have to come to God exactly how you are. And in a relationship with Him, He is going to transform who you are. So what we need to understand is that from the circle of brokenness, when you understand the good news of the gospel, you need to understand that at the center of that good news is Jesus. And so the Bible teaches us that we need to repent and believe. If you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised Him from the dead, you will be saved. Romans 10:9 teaches that. And what that means is that when you repent, you're saying, I no longer want to go down this street of darkness and this path of destruction, but I want life, and I'm choosing life. And so you get to choose life in Jesus. That's the beauty of it. Jesus wants to give you that life that you so much need. When you repent, you're saying, I no longer want that life that leads toward destruction. I want a life that leads me towards life. And I need Jesus to lead me towards life. So when you repent and you believe that He is who He says He is, that He is Jesus, the Son of God, He is God Himself, made man, who lived a perfect life and then died the death of someone who didn't, so that you and I could be saved. And once you enter into a relationship with Jesus, you come and say, Jesus, I want to know who you are. I want you to be the King of my life. I want you to be the Lord of my life, which means that He rules all in your life. Then you enter into a relationship with Him, which means that you enter into God's design. And as you get to know Him, you begin to be restored. He begins to restore you as you begin to pursue Him. When you enter into a relationship with Jesus, you enter into God's design, and you begin to live actually within God's design and live the life that He wants for you. Thank you so much for listening to this message of good news that we have for you. And I hope that if you need anything, if you want to start and begin a relationship with Jesus, that this might have helped you understand what that looks like.